Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Hearts of Iron 4, continuing on with Operation Enduring Francedom, where I attempt to survive as France during World War II. And things were looking grim on the Italian front there for a little while, but we got a fortunate break. For some reason, the AI decided to pull a lot of their units from the border, and I took advantage of the situation, and I am now steamrolling into northern Italy. Also, I have recently defeated the Italians in Libya here, but the Italians have done an attack into Egypt and have actually taken Cairo and are driving down into the Sudan here. But this attack is probably what prompted them to draw away a lot of their forces. At least that's my assumption, so that they could follow up with this attack. But all we have to do is come in here, cut off their supply, and move to try and stop them. Now, if they get the Suez Canal, that would be not great, although the British are reinforcing this area. So far, the British have been pretty much useless for the most part, having huge amounts of troops sitting around, not doing anything to engage the Italians at all. And it has only been through my force of arms, very limited force of arms, that we've been able to have this victory in Northern Africa in the first place. But in any case, let's go ahead and start moving some units around here. So right now I have a three-prong attack going here. I'm reinforcing with some troops. I might as well send these guys over to Alexandria, see if we can capture it. If there's nobody in here, then that will be an easy cutoff. So that's what I'm going to do. And over here in northern Italy, where the action is a little bit more important, I did create a new army. And I gave it a more skilled general that has a panzer skill level. So let's take a look at that here. So the general that I selected is this guy here. Do we get to see his skill without having to... Oh, in any case, it's this guy here. Skill level 4, which is greater than the field marshal that we did have in command, which was only skill level 2. And he does have the Panzer Leader upgrade, which gives me more armor speed and armor division attack. Now, I gave him all of the armor units down here in northern Italy, and I gave him a lot of the ones that are advancing. Now, the ones that are still back here are with the original army group, but I've given most of the divisions to this group here. Now, he can only have 24 divisions, so he can only take 3 more on. And let's start attacking here. So we've got a group in here attacking my motorized and mechanized units. So why don't I take... Is this Alpine? Yes, it is. So we'll definitely sending the Alpine units to attack. And... oh, there's one other thing I wanted to do before I get sidetracked and forget about it. I want to send these units that are currently not part of any unit, actually. I'm going to send a couple of these guys navally over here, and then I'll cross and take the island down here, Sardinia, I believe. Yeah, Sardinia. So from Corsica down into Sardinia. If the Italians are not defending this, it will be an easy victory. And the more that we take, the more air resistance, I mean, the lack of air support they may get, because they're going to have their fleets further and further away. We're still having the tactical bombers do the missions for us up here or down there. And I don't think the Germans have pushed yet. And what are they working on? They're still working on a round Maginot Line, which will happen in 11 days. So we have 11 days of free reign in northern Italy before we could possibly have an attack from the Germans. So we're advancing in here. This battle's going well. Where else to send my units? Well, I've got these Alpine troops here. Looks like there's factories over here. Is this Alpine? Yes, it is. So why don't you make a hook up there? You guys, once you're done with that move, go up into Milan to protect it. And... oh, did I send the colonial troops, not the Alpine troops? Oh, it doesn't matter. There we go. Might as well send these guys too. Full-on assault. Sending these guys into Genoa. And I am going to have to keep some guys back behind to maintain some of these areas that I capture. How about you go to Milan as well? Alright, I think I'm happy to start time up. Alright, so we've got an attack here, an attack here. We probably actually need to tell these guys, the tactical bombers, to go actually over here in the Alpine region. And then in the Alpine region, you're going to do ground support. Good stuff. Alright, let's just take a look here. Alright, so we're still winning this fight. Might as well tell these guys to jump in when they get there. Alright, well, let's focus on Northern Italy here. I did do that move, correct? Yeah, alright, good. Alright, so this battle's going well. These guys are no longer getting attacked. I say we drive in and try and take another city. I would like to not be in the Alpine region, though, so we'll attack down here. These guys should be easily pushed back. Alright. So you're here now. Not doing anything. Go in there and help the attack. Now, I could have done the attack with this unit and made it even more of a... As a matter of fact, why don't you go here? More directions and everything. The goal here is to take Alexandria and cut them off. Alright, let's go back up to Northern Italy, where things continue to go very well. Alright, these colonial troops. I think I'm going to keep them in the Genoa and not move them from where they are. We'll use the colonial troops to reinforce for the most part. I can't believe this battle's still going on. But we are wiping out the units here. I mean, look at their strength. Just plummeting. Probably because they don't have anywhere to retreat. They kind of are on a last-ditch effort. Alright. We've captured that. Just wait for the the tank unit and come around over here. Alright, things are going well. Let's go ahead and take a look at... Alright, it looks like Alexandria is empty, so let's march in there. And this battle is going well so far. So just with some colonial troops and some cavalry, looks like we'll be able to cut off the main assault here. Alright. And why don't you go ahead and go in the city? Capture that. What do we got? Resistance and to occupation. Let's see where that is. So over here. Alright, well, I'm sending troops over there. Why would there be resistance? This is already English stuff. Alright. March down here. And see if we can retake Cairo. Because we have Alexandria. Alright, good stuff so far. I'm going to unassign this unit. They don't need to be part of the North Africa Army anymore. And these guys haven't arrived yet, but they're showing up. Okay. Oh, this battle's finally over. And we have more factories that we're probably capturing from the Italians. So, 4 more factories. Starting to wonder, is there something that I need to produce that I'm not? I'll put 1 here in support equipment. Put 1 on light tanks. And how my anti-tanks? We still need a lot of those. So go ahead and put one there. I'll put another one here for now. All right. But we don't have a lot of efficiency going on because we keep adding on factories. Eventually, I'd very much like to get the tank research, but it's going to be a little while, 5 days, before we can do that, and then we can get medium tanks. I have a lot of army experience, and I'm not going to be using just yet. I'm out of curiosity. This isn't something I've tried. Can I go in to, like, for instance, these heavy tanks and modify them, create variant? I can. Interesting. Let's see. We can upgrade the engine. We have been having a little bit of issues with speed, although that doesn't speed it up too much, so maybe not all that useful. Main gun, reliability, armor, and we'll do engine to balance things out. And or the light tank's more important. Well, I've got all this army experience. I guess it doesn't really matter either way, so we'll save that. And then we'll start producing the new variant. And then the light tanks, I'll do the same thing. So we've got these guys. And it's going to be a while before we get better light tanks, I think. Yeah, it's going to be 41 before we... Now, we got 50% off here, so I could do the 41 heavy tank earlier, but I think the medium tank's going to be a priority for me soon. So why don't I go ahead and upgrade the light tank here and create a variant of that. Now this guy, I definitely want speed. Upgrade it a couple times, maybe even 3 times. Let's go with a couple times. Main gun go up. And all right, so that's a little too expensive. We'll take one off the engine. All right, we can upgrade it further later, but at least this gives us some upgrades. And I will produce the new light tank variant. All right, good stuff. How's the fighter production going? Alright, so that fighter wing has been canceled out. So I only really have one fighter wing now, which is down here. And only have 16, so not great. Okay. Now with all that said, I'm going to need to start moving units. So you guys come into... I prefer to avoid the alpine areas, so if we go this way, be a little bit better for the tank. So I'll come into this factory here. And colonial troops, I would like to hold on to some of these things. We'll do that later, though. Grab the infantry. And we'll send them here as well. And then we'll redivert them as we need to. Motorized unit we'll send over here. And then we've got the colonial troops. I will send one here. Send another one on these factories. And then I'll take this other one and bring them up north to capture some of these things that are not yet captured. All right. Looking good. We're definitely pushing into northern Italy pretty darn well. All right, let's take a look at North Africa here. So we're continuing to push. Might as well, when this guy gets there, send an attack down here. Okay. And I also probably should rebase these guys. So Just gonna remove this air wing. You know what? I don't really care about their air support at this point. Yeah, there's probably a lot of Italian troops in here, and I could rebase them, but you know what? I'm not worried about it. Okay. Go back up here, and that will supply me with bombers over here where I need it. And I didn't send the Alpine troops anywhere, did I? We'll send you guys down this way, because you guys are actually Alpine troops, and you can, matter of fact, go there. Okay. So, now that we have guys kind of sitting around, how about you Alpine troops attack? Well, you know, I'm having a lot of strength issues, actually, at this moment. But what I think I'll do is take these guys, attack here, and with these guys we'll attack. And then I'll wait for reinforcements before I attack with the Alpine unit. Well, that's the plan for now. Alright, these guys are kind of sitting around. I would like you to come over here. And you guys are sitting around, so I would like you to also come over here. And that is not Alpine. How about I send one unit over here to attack from the northern direction. Okay. Alright. We've got a two-prong attack here that's going very well. Let's go back over to North Africa. Alright, so we do have a unit here. I'm going to have to wait for the organization to come back up and reinforcements before we can attack Cairo. But it's only a single unit, and they should be cut off from supplies, so this should be not too bad. Do I finally have the colonial troops here? I do. So let's grab them. Organization's a problem, though, so we'll just kind of wait for that. And we have a ship clipping through the island. That's nice. Where are you guys going? You're going over that way. In Africa, we're having supply problems again. Alright. We're just moving guys around for now, trying to consolidate the advance. Taking a lot of damage recently because of all the fighting. Alright, let's do a three-pronged attack here. Try and take those guys out. Why don't you guys just stay where you are for now? And when these guys arrive, I'll send them over this way into this battle. Okay, we got the anti-tank upgrade. So I think it's time to research the medium tanks. Although 1940 is now here and we can do a lot of other things with our research, I think I'm going to go with the medium tanks because I feel like I need those. Oh, and another thing I'd like to do, I'd like to cancel this recruitment, and I would like more of these tank divisions here. So what these guys set up is right now is 2 light tanks and a bunch of motorized troops. So far they've seemed very effective. And one thing I didn't take a look at, and maybe I should have before I started the research, is a comparison in the stats here. So do that and that. We get 2 windows open. Alright, so these guys are a little bit slower. 8 kilometers an hour, which is a little bit of a problem, actually. But I was thinking about incorporating a medium tank unit into that tank unit once it gets researched. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and train up a couple of these units at a time. And they are going to pop out over in Ile-de-France over here, where I have other units that are training popping out. We have a new division here. We do have another combat going on, which I should reinforce, so let's go reinforce that. There we go. How many divisions is it? Just 2 versus 2 for now? Alright. So this motorized unit, I'd actually like to come back away from the front. And I'll send the infantry divisions that are getting made. Matter of fact, why don't I do this? Send the motorized divisions over here. And then you go over here. And then once we get the tank units done, we'll move them over there. So we'll have 2 motorized divisions. Matter of fact, why don't we send this motorized... Yeah, we're 3 motorized divisions and one of those tank divisions as well. All right. Good stuff. Okay. Go back into the action. And I'm just going to take a look at North Africa really quickly here. So, getting our organization up. We've managed to fight off the Italians here. So why don't you come over this way. And you guys go in here. And then you guys go over here. And you might as well do that move as well. Actually, come over here so I can 2-prong attack this, or 3-prong attack this, or multiple-prong attack this. Every direction attack this. Matter of fact, I'd prefer if you were over across the river. And you guys are fine. And then once you guys get over here, I would like you guys to be here, so we can get multiple attacks that aren't river crossings, at the very least. How is our morale here? Enough that I feel confident to move the unit. Alright. We've got this attack going on. We're reinforcing things. They're starting to reinforce. Alpine unit is on its way, about to attack. Where is this guy going? Up there. Okay, that's fine. That's where I want you. Alright, they're putting a bunch of divisions in here now. Alright, I feel like I have to attack soon once these guys get in here. Why don't you cross the river for me? Being a lot of attacks going on here. And we'll go ahead and start this combat. And we'll put the motorized division in there as well. And then when these guys get there, the Alpine units will attack as well. Alright, so far so good. We'll just have you hang there. Matter of fact, is that territory French or Italian? Yeah, Italian. How about this? Go in there, just capture that so it's over with. Alright, so we've got a bunch of divisions in here, a lot of those Alpine units. And the tank unit is going there as well. Okay, good. And we're going to do a push here. Okay. Got 3-prong attack going on. 2-prong attack down here is going well. Defense is working very well. Alright, Japanese diplomats in Berlin. So, a new partnership is developing between Tokyo and Berlin. Negotiations have begun for a pact between the two states, citing both strategic interests and shared values. While it remains to be seen what, if anything, comes from these negotiations, the prospect of a friendship between some of the strongest military forces on each hemisphere is cause to worry for their many enemies. Okay, honestly, I don't care. We got the air focus. We're going to pause things up here in a second. And honestly, the Japanese are losing right now. I mean, they're not really a threat. They did attempt to attack me over here in Indochina, but it was aborted very quickly. And the Chinese continue to defeat them over in Manchuria and elsewhere. So I don't know if I'm that worried about the Japanese right now. In any case, let's see how things are going. We're actually being attacked here. Oh no, the British are being attacked. I can't see because of the dust storm. And we are accidentally attacking, actually. So we just have this one unit in Cairo right now. Which is causing us problems. Why don't we just have these guys move here? Then we'll do a two-prong attack on them. Matter of fact, why don't you move over this way? That way you don't get a river crossing. Then we'll attack Cairo with 3 divisions. We've got 3 divisions in here attacking these guys. This should go well. And how is things going down here? Well, not particularly well because the British are doing absolutely nothing to destroy that pocket, but that's up to them, I guess. I've done the hard part, which is cutting off the enemy. And we do need a new national focus. So I just got air focus. Now I want fighter focus. And when I get that, I'll be able to start working on the new 1940 fighters, and they'll get done really quickly, so because I get a 50% bonus to that research. All right, let's do that. And if I get enough political power, I can actually modify that as well by getting a manufacturer. Okay, Luxembourg has called the United Kingdom as our ally in German-Polish War. Our war, German-Polish War, has been merged with German-Luxembourg War. Our allies in this war are New Zealand, United Kingdom, British Raj, Poland, South Africa, Canada, Australia, and Luxembourg. And our enemies are blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they're attacking here now. Which is dangerous for me, obviously. I could stop this advance into Luxembourg entirely. All I would have to do is just bring all of my motorized units into Luxembourg. They only have a single division attacking. But I'm going to keep to my plan. My plan being to hold the line here. Let Belgium and Netherlands and all this stuff fall. If the British want to save it, they can. That's up to them. We almost have enough tension to join the Allies. I can't right now. And by the way, again, I've mentioned this before, but the Germans are not going the historical route. They should have attacked Denmark and then Norway first. They're not doing that, so they're not giving me the reprieve that historically I would have gotten, making this a lot more difficult. Fortunately for me, the Italians collapsed, which has allowed me to really bounce back here a little bit. But let's just see faction-wise really quickly. We're still not part of the Allies, and just as a confirmation, if I talk to the British, if I were to ask to join faction, they would accept me, but I have to wait for 80% tension, which we're close to. So if one of these countries falls, that will probably be enough. So I'm going to have to kind of keep an eye on the north here, as there's going to be a lot of action. Matter of fact, I got another division popping out that we're going to be putting over there. Okay, so this division over here, or this group here, is kind of weak, but not a whole lot I can do about it until I get more of these guys popped out. I could pop this guy out early, which would make them green, which might actually be a good call. So deploy them. They already have their equipment, so it shouldn't be that bad. So they're a little green. Send them over here. All right. Continue to watch how things are developing over here. These guys are in combat. So we got this area here. We've got our units advancing. This attack stopped. I see no reason why not to push into Florence here with my mobile units. So we're starting to hurt a little bit on organization. You guys, stay where you are. You guys move down here and take the port. Gets me more supplies. Alright. These divisions are trying to flank me. I don't like that, so we're going to attack. Not Alpine, so we'll just straight up attack here. I don't get to do my two-prong attack, but that's okay. We'll just wait, and then we'll go with these guys here in a second once they've arrived. Alright, these guys have been defeated. Let's send the motorized unit down to meet up with its other group. And do I push for Rome? I don't know what's over here. It might be a better idea to just stick to northern Italy. But if there's nothing in my way, this will be a very quick drive. So I've got my motorized troops. Might as well. Alright, so the Alpine units are pushing. Alright. Let's just take a look over here really quick. What's going on? Okay, so United Kingdom has called Belgium as our ally in the German-Polish War. Our war... so we've got more merge stuff. Okay. Alright. So now, we can officially join the Allies. So let's go ahead and do that. And ask to join faction. United Kingdom to ask the United Kingdom to join allies. This will allow you to call each other to war. The faction leader is United Kingdom. If you have set any volunteers to the faction members, they will be sent back. Currently at war. This will change world tension. We don't really care. And they will accept. So I'm going to send. Let's see if that happened immediately. So this is the faction here. Not yet. There we go. Let's just take a look. There we are. We're now part of the Allies, so that's good stuff. In case, I think this is a good point to put a cut in the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.